I got some clips of the audio that was used during the police brutality lawsuit that I have against the LMPD, 4th and M Street, December 7th, 2012, last year.
532 radio.
532.
Joel Casey.
Ma'am, hold us out at 4th and M. Just had one try to fight us.
Had one.
See if you have a CO on channel.
Had one to try to
Okay,
fight
are you
us.
1086?
It's just a bunch of fucking animals
10-4,
out here.
1086, disregard Sergeant Stillway.
The people are the enemies.
1804.
531 David, 1023.
531 David at 1804.
Kind of shows what other things were going on during that night. What was so important to come at me.
531 David, if those phones are for us, you can cancel them. Everything appears to be secure so far.
Radiator Viper 32, 1086. Radiator Viper 32, 1086, 4th and M.
10-4, 1086.
At 1818.
Viper 32 is on police 4.
Just check the status. There's somebody about you were 1086 there.
10-4, we had switched the service during the tone to get an EMS for 1086, thank you.
At 1818.
1086 is okay.
And I'm going to run holding on 3 feet for a second car. 3 intoxicated people sitting outside a Dollar General talking loud.
They're just sitting out there talking loud.
They're intoxicated, sitting on a bench, refusing to leave, talking loud. One copy another one. This was going to be 911 open line, someone threatening to shoot someone else.
4 David, go ahead.
434 David, 3 Echo, 1120 Wheeler Avenue, 1120, I'm sorry, Weller Avenue, 1120 Weller Avenue. 911 open line, male callers cussing someone and threatened to shoot someone. They have an estimated address only. This is showing on phase 2, and there are several previous runs in CAD with the history with this phone number matching this address. Go ahead, step 4, 1120 Weller for now. That's 1120 Weller Avenue. Male callers threatening to blow somebody's head off on the phone. 3 Echo and 4 David en route. I'll cancel 4 David if you're going to be close. 4 Adam, copy your run the back 1 David.
Go ahead.
1 David and 4 Adam, Frankfurt and Ewing at the Walgreens. We had this previously as a person down inside the car. She was conscious that she just had a migraine. Fire and EMS now on scene. Want police saying she possibly overdosed and it's a medical issue due to drugs.
2 Bacon.
Both cars 921 Denmark Street, 921 Denmark, domestic with violence. Caller advised that the mother of his child had slammed a door, broken glass, pulled on his clothing while he had a baby in his arms. She's intoxicated. Person unknown if she's intoxicated. Only description I have is the name of Samantha Chester. She's still on scene with him. Sir, it's coming back to a David Heron, date of birth 5/8/57, and shows a canceled plate. It's not current. He's got a protection order with a Kathy Heron to be considered armed and dangerous. He has a
Okay, so it's probably the end of it there. The one clip that I was wanting to actually listen to, I didn't get into. I mean, it was actually, it's crazy how much bullshit goes on. That was just like within an hour period. But there was one clip where she had called it in, saying that there was a guy on the bus who was exposing himself. There was an intoxicated man on the bus exposing himself. So, a lot of weird, crazy shit. A lot of, like, sometimes it's just dumb shit. Like that one lady was like, they're just talking. They're just sitting and talking. Like, that's the crime. And then, but there's other ones. A guy was threatening to blow someone's head off. There was a domestic violence dispute. There was other violence. There was gunshots. And so, you have a lot going on. And actually, Mr. Casey and Aaron Browning, Joel Casey and Aaron Browning had testified on Friday that it was a dangerous area. Lots of prostitutes. They even said that they have a contact in the area, right? A human contact, which it's kind of crazy how, like, on the tape you heard him say, "Oh, I had one of them fight me. I had one of them fight me." One of who? One of them, the people, the enemies? Is that who one of? So that's pretty telling. I mean, that's, I don't know if that, because it was overlooked, and so I don't know if that's just, how Joel Casey talks, or if that's actually how the culture of LMPD is, because they had overlooked it. He was like, "Oh yeah, one of them tried to fight us." That's all. Yeah, one of them tried to fight us. Right. Right. That's what happened. One of y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I just tried to fight you. Right. I was just, hey, what's going on? Oh, you're a cop. Let's fucking fight. That's what happened. Like that's not what happened. Um. So, the Viper unit, they're supposed to stop violence, but they're actually increasing violence. They're a menace to society. They are going around with guns. Had I ran, I would have been a chance of me getting shot. They were irresponsible. They've been unempathetic and without conscience the whole time. They were supposed to be chasing some robbery down the road, and they also said that they were chasing some dude down Finn Alley. The citizen contact who they had in South Louisville had reported on some guy using a gun that was a black man with white pigmentation on his face, and which isn't me. But that didn't stop them from being, total fucking pricks. But they got two other things in the area that they should be chasing, that they should be going for, if they actually gave a shit. He did afterwards when we were talking, because we were cordial for the large duration when we were spending time together, because they were arresting me and throwing me in prison, right? And so while we were sitting there, we were having conversations, and I think they just wanted to show me that they was, good people. But what, I'm not convinced that they're good people. I think they're psychos. I mean, this is insane, like how they could just go on and on, just hurting somebody, just hurting and hurting and hurting, and they just pressing and keep pushing on. But while we was talking, they said that Joe Casey had asked the sergeant to just cite and release me, because it was like, hey, you know what? I made them this. I said this agreement. If you was to give the cite and release me, then just go on. I punched you, you punched me. It's even. It's over. You broke my nose. Let's call it a night. And the sergeant wouldn't do that. The sergeant actually was the one that pressed to make sure that charges were had. So, if Joe Casey thought I was a threat and really thought, why would he just want me to cite and release? Why would he just cite and release me if, he actually just thought that I was this huge threat? He doesn't think I'm a threat. He doesn't think that I deserve jail time. He doesn't really believe that he wants to go through all this. But he's already put the felony charges on me and the 3 other charges on me, and he attacked me, and he's putting so much effort onto me that, he kind of has to. He has to lie. He has to do and say whatever it is he can say in order to get away with his pointless violence. They said that they're not sure on the name. During a field interview, we learned that a subject, because we're subjects, we're like, they're the king's men, so they're protecting the politicians, and we're all the subjects of the king, so we're the subjects of the police. I had one of them almost fight me, one of these, fucking Americans out here, one of these Louisville citizens, I had one of them try to fight me. So, I mean, these are Joel Casey's words. These are the words that was used during the broadcast. And here, actually, I'll play it again, because his is the very first one, right?
Viper 32 radio.
Viper 32, so he's Viper Squad.
Ma'am, hold us out at 4th and M. Just had one try to fight us. See if you have a CO on channel.
Just had to have one fight.
Are you 1086?
One try to fight us.
10-4, 10-8-6, disregard Sergeant away.
One of the zombies? One of the aliens? One of the what?
David 10-23.
David.
Who are y'all's enemies? Who's the enemies of the LMPD? Just had one of them try to fight us. I just had one of them try to fight us.
Radio.
Viper 32.
Ma'am, hold us out at 4th and M. Just had one try to fight us. See if you have a CO on channel.
Okay, so are you 1086?
10-4, 10-8-6, disregard Sergeant away.
And 1804.
531 David 10-23.
531 David. And 1804.
Okay, so, what happened, it's wintertime, it's cold, dark, and it's rainy, it's 6 p.m., and I'm walking to the store, I'm walking to the food market, which, that's their name, they don't actually have a name, it's just a little mom and pop shop, they're owned by some really young owners, they're like just 20-something years old, own the convenience store, and I was walking to the food mart, not market, Food Mart, actually. And when I went to the Food Mart, I got beat up by the LMPD. So, and it was only 1 block away from where I was at. When I walked out of my house, 319 Iowa Avenue, I made a right, and then I made another right, and now I'm walking north on the right side of the road, east of the road, and I'm walking down the sidewalk. I get to the corner. It's the corner of M and 4th Street, and I look both ways. Nobody's coming. Cross M Street. Now I'm on the opposite corner. Now I'm going to cross 4th Street going over this direction. And so when I'm walking this direction, I look both ways. I'm standing on the corner. I'm looking both ways. Nobody's coming left or right. And I did see a plain white car. A plain white car, just a Chevrolet Impala, a regular sedan, just has nothing distinguishable about it, just some random, average car for an average person. And so the car had sat there for a few seconds, so I didn't know if they was just going to stop there at the stop sign for a while. And there was no blinkers, so even if they were going to go, they would be going straight because they ain't going right and they're not going left. And so since they're stopped and there's no cars coming, I proceed to walk. I take about 2 or 3 steps, and once I get in the 2 or 3 steps, into my stride, there's lights shining right behind me. I hear an engine, and the car almost hits me. And so, I almost have to lean forward so it doesn't hit me. And the car immediately stops, and then somebody from the inside says, "Get the fuck out of the middle of the road." And it was Aaron Browning, because it came out of the passenger side. And so the passenger side of the car, Aaron Browning yells, "Get the fuck out of the way." And then when he says, "Get the fuck out of the way," I said, I returned to "fuck you" to them. But I kept walking straight. They're saying that I turned around and I'm doing all these gestures, that I did a threatening gesture. That's ridiculous. Just as immediately as I said "fuck you" to them and kept walking, instead of jumping out of the way as they'd want me to, they sped around me. So they was behind me, and then they speed around me, and now they're in front of me. So, they was behind me about ready to hit me, and now they're in front of me. They drove real fast, driving crazy, and now they're stopping in the middle of a busy intersection, 4th and M Street, 4th Street to Churchill Downs and U of L, lots of traffic always going through. They stop right in the middle of this intersection, and they jump out of their car, okay? And as soon as they jumped out of their car, I swing and I punch Joel Casey on the top of the head. He ducks, and it just brushes right over the top of his head. Then he's coming at me and wants to fight me, and I'm all squared up, and I'm ready to hit him back, but I'm not wanting to fight, so I'm just blocking whatever he's trying to put at me. He's trying to grab at me. He's trying to swing. He's trying to do anything. He can't do anything. And then Aaron Browning jumps out of the car on the opposite side, so now I got 2 people. Now I'm outnumbered. There's 2 people who's going to be jumping. I don't know who these people are. They're drunk white trash, It's a dangerous neighborhood that I lived in. We got broken into twice. There was prostitution. They talk about this robbery, and there was a guy with a gun in the neighborhood. So this is the neighborhood I live in. Okay, it is a rough neighborhood. So not only do I have to look out, over my shoulder for the bad guys, but I also got to look over my shoulder for the police because, they descended upon me from out of nowhere, and then, they're attacking me. But I did throw the first punch, but they, almost hit me with their car. So the Aaron Browning comes around, and he's he throws a couple punches at me, and he gets me on the chest because my chest was sore afterwards. I didn't think he really landed anything significant, but he did. And then eventually one of them says, "Hey, we're the police." Okay, so we're sitting there struggling, and we're sitting there fighting, or wrestling, or slapping, or whatever you want to say, because it wasn't it wasn't, no Rocky fight or anything. And afterwards, not afterwards, but in the middle of it, one of them says that they're the police, and I'm like, what the hell? I didn't say any of this, but I'm thinking all this. I'm trying to figure out who these people are. Who are these people? Where'd they come from? Now they're saying that they're the police. I'm looking up and down. I'm trying to figure out to see who they are, and eventually I see underneath the flannel, I see the guy's badge, which is right underneath his flannel jacket. And I was still, that doesn't mean you're the police just because you found some badge. I've seen little tiny toy badges people have. So, but they seemed serious, and so I was like, before I was ready to fight, they weren't touching me, but then I surrendered and I said, "Okay, you're the police." stop, you know, stop. So, you know, now what? You know, I'm sort of, you know, I'm resigning to their authority. And when I put my hands up, that's when Aaron Browning tackles Joe Casey and me, and then we're on the ground. Joe Casey comes up, punches the concrete, gets mad, and punches my face. $28,000 in damage for no apparent reason whatsoever.